We know that Biden has been openly, flagrantly racist over and over, and recently. Trump supports Black lives.
Is less of the issue and more so the people that support him, like Die Hard. They facilitate that kind of like hate, I think, for a lot of people, not just Black people, but like.
I mean, this
What?
man took out like a full page in a newspaper calling for the public execution of 5 Black kids. His hotels, all of his businesses have rampant history of denying Black people apartments or whatever. So
I forgot about that. I should not have stepped forward.
Look, I mean, Donald Trump cares about Donald Trump. So
I agree. I think at the end of the day, Donald Trump cares about Donald Trump. But the fact is that Donald Trump is an American. And Donald Trump cares about his country because it's his country. Not because he cares about me, not because he cares about you or anybody else. But that is exactly why he is the best leader that we've had in my lifetime. Because he's willing to just say, F all of you, I want a good country. So I'm going to do what we got to do. Red hair and red flag. Red flags! Yeah, but I mean, that's it's just crazy. Like these are I struggle to even find the words as to how basic this actually is. Danny Cabrera says, in other words, the Valley Girl didn't want to answer the question. The way it was asked, she wanted to answer her way. It's not Trump so much as it is his supporters. Yeah, basket of deplorables, right?
I don't think he really cares about anyone, I guess, unless you're like super rich or whatever.
When you look at his history on
True, yeah, him and his kids, his family, that's I completely believe that's all he cares about. And that's totally fine. Because if you're going to use that selfishness to drive your personal agenda, which happens to make all of our lives better, I'm here for it.
racial issues, whether it's the shithole countries comment, the plethora of comments he made about Mexican people, just the comments he made about Muslims.
I expected this from Hunter Biden. I did not expect this from Destiny. Destiny, you know better. I know you know that he didn't say those things. So why are you doing this?
The idea that Trump cares at all about some particular racial minority, I think is a little bit silly. I think Trump will say whatever he needs to say to rile up his base and to get elected.
I don't necessarily think those statements come from a place of hatred. I don't think he was ever saying specifically, oh, if you pray 5 times a day towards the east or towards Mecca, based on wherever you are, you're a bad person. I think he was saying if you like to fly planes into towers or behead people or throw people off of buildings, maybe you're not the most virtuous person out there.
I supported Trump because he made the economy good. And so the economy then impacted Black people, white people, Latino people, it impacted everybody. Bingo. But Trump, he didn't think specifically, I don't think, about Black people. He thought about himself, and he thought about how can I make America great for me, and making him, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go with this guy. And the reason I'm gonna go with this guy is because if he can make America great and he can make that it rise for everybody, I'm gonna benefit from that. So that's why I went, and that's why I voted for him. That's why I supported him.
There you go, Renee. Anyboom says, are we just gonna sit here and accept this notion that he called for 5 Black kids to be executed and that all his properties are anti-Black? It's insane. Lies. Destiny is a grifter. So I don't think that is true about Destiny. I think he is in the same way that he, or rather, despite the fact that he says a lot of things that, you know, align with things that we think, he's still in his epistemic bubble of thinking that all of these things are true. So there, I do, again, I don't know, because he definitely, like I said, he definitely knows that. Maybe he is grifting. Maybe he's grifting. Maybe he's grifting. Shame, shame, shame. Destiny is the one in the blue shirt right here. Daniel says, let's be clear. He did say those things. He didn't say them about the entire population of Mexico. Nope. He said them about the people in Mexico to whom it applies. That's it. She got there eventually. Yep. Yeah, Destiny's the guy in the blue shirt. He is he's probably the biggest between him and Jenk's nephew. He's like the biggest lefty YouTuber.
How does that specifically benefit Black people? Again, he's a businessman, but he's also a racist businessman, like well documented. So
the question, you keep saying that. You keep just saying things, but you have to explain what you mean and provide evidence for your claim. Otherwise, you're just talking shit.
So like,
And Biden's not. Biden's not.
Yes, he is. He created the crime bill. So that's regardless of the
Well,
point.
address the Central Park 5. That's what you brought up, right? How do you feel about that?
Well,
he took that full
actually,
page out
okay.
after they were
So
exonerated.
I haven't.
He wanted them
dealt-
to be killed,
Well,
executed, just because they were black.
I don't. Let's. I want to look into that a little bit further. Trump Central Park 5, because I don't remember exactly. So, all right, let's see. No, they're gonna. So let's see what USA Today. Let's just go with this for now. And see what they. So this is from 2019. They admitted their guilt. 30 years of Trump's comments about the Central Park 5. Trump repeatedly commented on a case wrongly accused of a group of black and Latino men assaulting a white female jogger in Central Park in 1989. Trump's comments surrounding the case resurfaced following the Netflix series. The 5 here, they were found innocent after the crime convicted Matias Reyes in 2002. I want to hear, what did he actually say, though? Trump, now person has doubled down on his stance and they were somehow involved. Yeah, I don't remember. Less than 2 weeks after the attack, Trump took out a full-page ad in in 4 New York City newspapers with the headline, "Bring back the death penalty, bring back our police." The $85,000 worth of ads were published on May 1989. New York Times claimed that. At what point did we cross the line from fine and noble pursuit of genuine civil liberties to the reckless and dangerously permissive atmosphere, which allows criminals of every age to beat or pay a helpless woman and then laugh at her family's anguish? You continue in the ad. They should be forced to suffer when they kill. They should be executed for their crimes. They must. So I mean, I gotta be honest. I don't remember this going on, and I don't remember the context around it. But the notion I get is that he was talking about crime in general. Like, crime had gotten bad by 2019, very much so, and due to Trump's policies before lockdowns, we were actually doing pretty well. So that's just for me taking one look at one USA Today article, but you know, Melton My Media said so well documented. I don't have to show the documents. Lefty's gonna lefty, right? Well documented. This is CNN. Yep, that's facts. That's facts. We know that Biden has been openly, flagrantly racist over and over, and recently, not since the 90s, not since the 70s. We're talking in the last 5 years.
Story.
And he bars people from attending his businesses or like renting apartments from all his like stupid Trump towers. I think
Trump at that point was, like many people in this room, particularly liberals, a victim of the media. I think he was scared. I think he was ashamed of the things that he heard in the news and wanted to take action himself as a businessman, not as a racist.
Yeah, I think that's that's what we're all saying here, is that Trump didn't say, I want these kids to be executed because they're, no, he's saying that if you do these horrible crimes, that you should have to pay the price. Dustin, yeah, similar to the MS-13 comments. It makes sense. It makes sense. Again, I don't know. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments below. Send a link of whatever, but doesn't seem like that egregious. Xander Cruz says, how interesting that the economy was rising so beautifully gets destroyed by a foreign vague virus. Such perfect timing, he says. Oh yeah, it's just a great coincidence. It's just a great coincidence. Melton My Media said, well, who commits the majority of crime? So that makes him racist. Yeah, it's Trump's fault that more black people do crimes per capita than white people. And then we can all remember, if you don't know whether you're voting for me or Trump, you ain't black.
Come on, man.
Why? Like, what are we talking about? Of course, Biden is more racist than Trump. Is Trump somebody who is going to do everything that any black person wants? Like, no, but that's not what we're talking. Like, what are you talking about?
Fantilizing him.
I don't like also real quick because people keep bringing up this comparison to the '93 crime bill from Biden. That crime bill, this was at the height of like violent crime and the crack epidemic in the United States. The Congressional Black Caucus supported that crime bill.
True.
Everybody in the United States supported that crime bill. The idea that that crime bill was like some racist piece of legislation that Biden was just wheeling out because he hates black people, and that's somehow comparable to the Donald Trump's treatment of the Central Park Five that were already exonerated. That wasn't a victim of the media. The media said they were done. They were exonerated in court. They weren't there.
Right, but again, if we're saying it's not about the Central Park Five, it's about the crimes that were committed, whether it was these 5 people or any other 5 people, that is, without naming anything or anyone, that is the most reasonable assumption. Occam's razor. The conclusion with the least amount of assumptions necessary is usually the right one.
See that the prosecutor of the 5, he was a black guy, and so in being a black guy, he went and he looked at all the evidence and said these guys are guilty.
Black people can also be racist against other black people.
Or just make mistakes.
So if anybody does anything you disagree with in regards to the Central Park Five, even if they themselves are a black person, then they're just a self-loathing black person. They're just a racist black person.
If they disagree
That
with me, they're
prosecutor was
racist.
doing his job.
That's my policy. If they disagree with me, they're racist.
I like that.
I think
Who thinks he's joking? He's saying it like a joke, but that is literally exactly what he thinks.
Trump is, I
like
think
that's a
Trump
hilarious
has
policy.
shown a history of
What is wrong? Or like, why are you? Can you sit up? There's a camera. You're being broadcast to millions of people.
ignorant at best and racist at worst behavior. I didn't vote for him or Hillary because I just don't see him as a conservative hero. I don't even think he's a conservative.
Fake
personally.
conservative. I voted Trump in 2016, just so you all know.
Oh, bro, you voted for Trump? That makes everything that you're saying totally rational, I guess? No, it means nothing. It means that you probably just voted that way because the people around you were voting for Trump. And then now the people around you are probably voting for Biden. That would be my guess. It said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't Indian.
What?
Doesn't quite work the same, does it?
So I'm just saying.
I'm just saying, bro.
I need to expound. I need you to elaborate on if people disagree with you, they're racist, just in general.
I was just kidding.
He's just
You were not just kidding. You were not just kidding. A little bit of truth, kernel of truth in every joke.
yeah.
you never know.
Just like
One
the
of those
hat.
kind of moments.
Sorry if I triggered you. I'm sorry.
You made
No,
a
I'm not
point.
Oh my God. People like this are insufferable. Insufferable. Sorry if I triggered you. Oh, you got triggered. Like, no, you said a stupid thing that people responded to. That's not what being triggered means. And film said, of course he voted for Trump in 2016 because he thought Trump was a racist like him. Got him.
You made a
needs to know.
point
Okay.
a couple of minutes back where you said he just kind of says these things to rile up his base. Why does he need to do that at the expense of black people then?
He doesn't do that at the. I am a member of his base, and I'm sitting there like, oh man, this is amazing. And I don't know. You can call me.
Oops. He's a black guy. Did you forget? Let me guess. You're colorblind. You don't see color like that.
So
Self-loathing, you can call me
so
self-hating,
you're
you can call
saying
me
calling
racist.
for
I
the
can call you
public
stupid.
execution of 5 black men that were exonerated to
When has
rile
he
up
done
his
that
base.
during the campaign trail? He didn't do that when he was a politician.
Well,
he did that when
again,
he was a
it's
scared businessman
everything.
in New York.
It's
feeling
everything
bad.
Steve said about the comments about Muslims, the comments about Mexican immigrants.
I told you. I told you they were coming. There, you cannot have a conversation with a liberal about Trump without them bringing up these quote unquote quotes, these quote mind misquotes. Come on. Multimami said, guy with the glasses and black hair looks like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Oh my God. What was that guy's name? I forget. But he left Hollywood to be a dad. Shout out to him. And shout out to Xander Crew with the $10 super chat. And of course, every single donation comes with a treat for Morty. He says, thank you so much. Xander Cruz says, the truth is toxic nowadays. We need a social movement back to truth. Absolute truth. Not my truth, not your truth, the truth. Exactly. This is why when I talk to people about, like specifically, Peter Boghossian talks about this, yes, Rick Moranis. Thank you, sir. When I talked to Peter Boghossian and I brought up that he was like, well, not all beliefs are the same and not all delusions are the same, and this benevolent Christianity, might not be so bad and whatever. No, I'm sorry, but when we accept that working on wrong or incomplete information is a virtuous and just good way to live, we have lost the plot. We need to get back to the truth. Thank you again. And of course, that makes you the new sponsor of the stream.
Why does he
never
need-
about Mexican immigrants, never about Muslims, about terrorists and about criminals and rapists. These are very important delineations to make. And if you believe
I
that
think
what
you
were fed the media
understand,
about,
or
oh, it's
I
all
think
Mexican immigrants, I think it's more of you being, oh man, these poor Mexicans, they need to be supported. It's more of that savior complex. Wow,
What was
we're
the
back
rationale
again.
behind
Now, think about if our boy here, what's his name, Chandler, I think, if he had come in and been a little bit more chill in the beginning, if he had been a little bit more chill in the beginning, and now he was like, boom, 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 boom with his points, how much more, how much harder would it have hit? This is why you want to save that. Exactly. Thank you, Chandler. This is a similar, for those of you who don't know, I am a professional dog trainer. And so often people, will, they have a dog that barks all the time. And so they'll start yelling at the dog, shut up! And like, aside from the fact that you don't want to do that because that's what the dog wants is attention. The idea is that if you have a trained dog, you should be able to tell the dog what to do at a normal conversational value because the dog is listening to you. If you have to yell, then the dog is only waiting. It's like when you're a child and you're playing and your mom's like, okay, time for bed. And you're like, 5 more minutes. And then you hear she's like, right now. I'm like, oh, okay, that's mom's serious voice. Now I gotta listen. But before I didn't have to. This is exactly what our boy Chandler, even though he's spot on, he wasted the impact of his voice. And again, with the dogs, it's like if you are telling them to whatever it is, sit, and you're using conversational volume, and they don't listen, then you have room to then get more stern and then get a little louder and build up to that if you need to. But Chandler just came in hot, screaming, yelling, being too hot, and this is a good moment for him. But it's just not landing as hard as it could.
axing or trying to axe DACA? These people were registered with the federal government. They were in school. They were.
What do you guys think about DACA? Should DACA people be allowed to stay? So, DACA, I forget what it stands for, but the people who came here for anchor babies, people who were not anchor babies. No, it was. So DACA is when you're not born here, but you were brought here as an infant, and so they're not technically citizens, but this is the only home they've ever known.
They were doing everything that they needed to do. They had no home elsewhere. They were brought into this country as minors. Right. Like, what's the explanation for that?
I think that requires more nuance. Like I mentioned before, I think there were some people. I think there were some people feeding him bad policy advice, thinking, "Oh, this will be really good for your base," and he's doing a lot as a president.
That's okay. That's okay if we feel that way.
That's cope, though. Like every time somebody says something that you don't like and has a legitimate reason for a thing that you don't like, then you just say it's infantilization. That's not an argument. You have to explain. You have to explain how it is infantilizing and how, if it were somebody else, we would treat it differently. You're just saying things.
So if I take responsibility for something, if I say he has responsibility for something, well then you're right. But if I'm saying, well, maybe there are some people around him advising him falsely,
dude,
it's infantilizing.
He was the president.
There's no good way.
He called the shots. What are you talking about?
So you think Biden is calling the shots? Come on, bro. You gotta be a little bit less tribalistic. Because when people can see through the fact that you're just saying the things that go to your side, nobody's gonna listen. At least if you pretend that you're trying to have a good faith conversation, then you might win some people over. But this ain't it. At least, even Chandler's coming in and yelling at people and still making good points. But this ain't it.
only path forward to solving illegal immigration starts with amnesty for everybody here. The reality is there's some 10 to 15 million illegal immigrants here. We're not deporting them all.
Ooh, that's another tough one. Because I agree. I don't think there is any way to deport tens of millions of people. I don't think it is a good message to send to just say like, well, oh well, you got one over on us. But if that comes with stronger border patrol going, stronger border patrol going forward, I'd at least be willing to say like, okay, the people that are here, you can stay here, but now there's no question about closing the border, about making sure that everybody comes legally, all that stuff. Sanders said Israel just did it to all the Africans. We can totally deport all illegals. Yeah, but I mean, how many Africans were in Israel? 12 million? I mean, theoretically, yes. I do believe that if you're not a citizen of this country and you don't have the proper paperwork to be here, then you shouldn't be here. But 12 million people? What is the way? What is the way that we would do that? That wouldn't cost more money. Yeah. That wouldn't cost more money to than to just fold them into society and get the at least the tax revenue from them.
With the people who are already here, that's a lot more of a messy, nuanced conversation. But as far as people coming in, I do think we need stronger borders and actual vetting happening.
And I just want to say, in Ronald Reagan's day, he was given the promise. He said, look, if you go ahead and you pass this particular bill, we'll give these people amnesty and we're done. And it didn't happen. We didn't. Illegal immigration continued even after Reagan already said we will give these people amnesty.
Did not know that. I did not know that. As any film is saying here, Reagan got talked into granting amnesty in the 80s with the promise from the Democrats the border would be closed off and secured. That didn't happen, did it? So, I mean, again, that doesn't change the fact that having to deal with 12 million people is definitely an issue. But, oh man, I didn't that makes it a lot harder for a liberal today to make this argument now, doesn't it? Makes it a lot harder. Yeah, no. This time I promise. For real, I promise. Always these shady little backroom deals that never benefit the American citizen. What about the American citizen? Heaven forbid the government of America cares about the citizens of America. Xander says, and return to, he said, I agree. We should forgive some and DACA, but put an immediate freeze on all incoming and returning people and return people to the legal wait list. I have an aunt from Colombia on the list for 20 years. I'm down for immigration, but make it legal. Yeah, exactly the same. My parents came here as legal immigrants, and the only reason I'm allowed to, live the privileged and great life that I have is because they were allowed into this country, but they did it the right way.
So that's why we get a burr up our butt, because he had already done it.
Hopefully the devil's giving him amnesty.
True.
That's terrible.
No, that's big.
Wait, what? I missed that. What did he say?
So that's why we get a burr up our butt, because he had already done it.
Hopefully the devil's giving him amnesty.
Hopefully the devil's giving him amnesty. What? Loser. That was so. Okay. All right. Whatever you say, dude. Any films has 12 million. Okay, let's send 5 million to NYC, 5 million to LA, 1 million to San Francisco, and 1 million to Portland. Let's do it. I am down. And realistically, if we, if it's not that all these immigrants are kind of stuck in one place, it would be easier for local jurisdictions to be able to work with the federal government to get to organize the illegal immigrants that are in their jurisdiction, as opposed to it just being like the Border Patrol or the FBI or whatever. Not a bad idea. Certainly, at least, would change some minds. We were just talking about Eric Adams, who, in the sanctuary state of New York, And then they get bust up there, and he's like, "Oh, we don't have homes for people. We don't. It's gonna cost us so much money." It's like, yeah, bro, that's what we told you. That's what we told you. That's what we been saying. But sometimes people got to learn the hard way. Nick says, if they're willing to become a citizen, I will welcome them to America. But if they don't want to even learn to speak English, I'll show them the door and tell them not to let it hit them in the ass. Tell them, Nick. Tell them. Well, my media said my brain, the buffer, so my brain, after hearing what he said twice, is still not getting it. Okay, at least it's not just me. At least it's not just me. No, he's saying that he's going to hell. So hopefully the devil is going to give him amnesty because he's going to hell. So funny, right? Good one.
True.
That's terrible.
No, that's base. Thank you.
Tasteless.
Wow.
The amount of satisfaction those two got from that joke makes me want to throw up. Oh, yeah, that's based, dude. No, seriously, for real. Devil giving him amnesty. That's based. Yeah, exactly. Such an edgelord.
Loser.
Ninth circle, baby.
Ninth circle, baby. Yeah, sweet, bro. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed that clip, check out the full live stream link in the bio and catch me live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. See you there.